Hey friends, hey cutie, wait a moment. Sorry, I had to take a sip there. Today I want to address a question that has been asked a lot in trans circles. And most of the time I see it in like Reddit/r transgender, okay? And that is, what does it feel like to be trans? Now, I do not have the perfect answer that will describe the experience of every single trans person out there. Of course I don't, okay? Because it is a different feeling in every single person. But I'm gonna talk about how it felt like for me. Okay, so this feeling might come in different shapes and sizes and even emotions, right? In all kinds of different people. Because we all experience the world in different ways depending on where we were born, when we were born, how our family circumstances and friend circles have been, right? But for me, it is a deep longing, a knowing, a truth hidden below, that something quite wasn't right? With how my body was, how it developed, how I was perceived, and how people address me. And it didn't make it easier that in Germany, in lots of places, is pretty normal to speak formally to other people you do not know, and even like at work and stuff like that. So instead of just using your first name, they use Mr. and Mrs. and then your last name. And I've always hated this, and I couldn't like really put my finger on it. But number one, I do not really like my last name that much. Sadly, it is like almost impossible to change your last name here in Germany, okay? You have to have like valid reasons, and there's like only like 3 category of reasons you can have to change your last name. So I'm kind of stuck with that, right? So kind of have to marry to get a different last name. Somebody has a cool last name I can marry or something. Maybe like Bright Fellow. Sorry, I'm watching Lord of the Rings, and there's like Poppy Proudfellow in the Lord of the Rings TV show. So I always hated the hair, which is like Mr. in English, right? I never really liked that. Then I always liked hobbies and things that normally and stereotypically are associated with girls, like role playing, for example. I did that in school, and even like as a child, I did like role plays with my figurines, but I like never really got any dolls. And as a child, since I was so conditioned to like boys things, I never even asked for them, but I did like the little role plays with my Power Ranger figurines. I had like McDonald's toys, I had Bionicles, Lego figurines, and I built like all kinds of creatures and figures and had them fight and interact with each other. And there was like a whole ass storyline. It was kind of cute, right? And then I did like role play with like other kids in like the playground and all of that. And then later, during my late teenager years, when I was doing some kind of school education, I did like theater play in school and stuff like that, right? And then, oh my god, plushies! I like plushies so much. They're little fluff balls. It doesn't matter what the plushie is like. I will probably like it because plushies are like my lifeblood. I like plushies so much. I would buy a plushie every single time I leave the house if I had like infinite room in my house, okay? If I could have like one dedicated big ass freak room that is only dedicated for plushies, where the ground is plushies, where the walls is plushies, where the ceiling is plushies, where there's a bed made out of plushies, where there's so many plushies and they all look at you menacingly, being cute there, I would buy so many plushies you don't even know. Yeah, so once I was old enough to really understand the difference between men and women in society, in love life, and in the world in general, I was always so jealous of everything. Their clothing, how they could talk, how they could present themselves, all kinds of stuff that is typically seen in female people, okay? And then also in the roles doing adult fun time. But yeah, that's a whole other different thing, right? It's like how if you watch a TV show, for example, right? And there's 2 characters on the screen. One is male, one is female. Whom do you associate more with, right? And of course, associating with one gender over the other doesn't necessarily make you trans, but it can be a sign, and it was for me. I always was gendered in quotation marks incorrectly, or I guess correctly, because the people somehow knew in online places, since I use like feminine avatars, hi, by the way, and use a female name. And apparently the way I chatted using lots of emojis was perceived very feminine back in the day. And when I'm talking emojis, I mean like stuff like XD, I mean like the smiley face, like the double point and the P, like basically before we had like the yellow emojis nowadays in the early 2000s, right? Where we would type the emojis with the keyboard and stuff like that, little Kirby faces and all the things like that. That was all very cute, right? And even when I joined voice calls, for example, I so many times got quotation marks mistaken as a woman because of this squeaky voice I have now, which I love my voice. Okay, I like listening to it. I hope you like listening to it as well. And I always hated when people talk down the LGBT plus community, right? And I never really identified myself as an ally. I just hated when people would shit on groups for no reason at all. Maybe I felt attacked without even noticing it, right? I have like... yeah, you see, my father, I have not come out to him yet. And I probably never will. He's like almost 70 at this point. He's over 70 actually. He's going to the middle of 80. And I don't even know if I will ever come out to him. We don't have that much contact anyway. And he is pretty racist and pretty homophobe. So I have like no inkling of hope whatsoever that any talks with him would go anywhere. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna, right? But I always hated how he would talk about other people. And I did tell him that, right? But he still did. And yeah, and I never really felt masculine or identified with the typical masculine values that normally society puts on people, right? And after my inner coming out, and even more so after starting like HRT now like 3 weeks ago, I now know that is because I was never meant to embody these traits. I am who I am, and you are as well. You are allowed to be however you want to be. You do not have to go one path or another just because other people feel that way. Other people tell you that you have to be that way, okay? You can like whatever colors you like. You can like whatever clothes you like. You can like whatever hobbies you like, okay? You are allowed to be yourself. So stay cute, and I shall see you next time. Bye-bye! Wow, what are you doing here? The video's over. Did you not hear? Oh, wait, you want more? You want more of this video, even though it's already over? Sure, I shall give you an extension. So, but first off, let me tell you and ask you a question. Would you be interested in channel memberships? I'm actually thinking right now if I want that. I'm not sure. Let me know if you would be theoretically interested. By the way, I haven't seen Bretzel's emojis in like a few days. So if you would like, please leave one down below. That would be freaking amazing. So I have been feeling recently if I wanna do more cute things. Some tips right now, okay? If you wanna feel like really, really cute right now, get some of those clothings with thumb holes, okay? It doesn't matter if it's a hoodie, if it's like a jacket, or if it's like wrist warmers, okay? These like fingerless gloves that have like one hole for your thumb, they make you feel like such a cutie patootie. And you know what? You are one, Alice, okay? You are the cutest patootiest of them all. And yes, Brandon, you are very cute as well, okay? It doesn't matter if you have a blush, it doesn't matter if you'd like monster energy. It doesn't matter if you fit any of the stereotypes whatsoever. You are you. And you are who you say you are. Did you know that? Did you know that you're allowed to do that? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? Whoa. I mean, if somebody would have told me sooner that I can just be who I am and I don't need permission. Whoa. Like, whoa. That would have been so crazy. So I am the one doing that for you now, okay? You have permission from yours truly, Shyaren, to be who you are, okay? It is not who you wanna be, because you already are that, okay? Listen here, you already are, okay? You are the cutest, patootiest. Okay, right now, go to your blush. I heard they need you, like, right now. Okay, boy, for real this time.